and welcome back to my channel. I am Nochola the Drawer, and today in this video I'll be sharing 10 ways to spark your creativity and unleash your artistic potential. Hey, I am Nochola the Drawer, an artist and adventurer from the UK. Let's get creative. 10 ways to spark your creativity and unleash your artistic potential. If you're an artist looking for fresh ideas and to take your creativity to new heights, this video is for you. Whether you're a beginner seeking guidance or an experienced artist needing a creative boost, these strategies will help you get through those creative blocks. Share your experience and thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear which technique helps you boost your creativity and inspired something within you. Let's jump right into it with number one. Number one, experiment with different mediums. So you may be an artist that loves to draw in pencil, but how about if you tried charcoal? It makes you work in a different way and see things from a different perspective. So it's always good to try different techniques. For example, I'm working with clay at the moment and it's really making me think differently about my digital drawing. So it's really good to expand and try different mediums, see how your style can work in those different mediums, or help you to find your style. You might be working with pen drawings at the moment, but actually that doesn't really work for you. And then you pick up the paints and it unleashes a whole new side of you that you didn't even know. I mean, that's true for me. Digitally drawing helped me be my most colourful self because it meant I didn't have to wait for paints to dry. I could add in whichever colours I want on a huge variety, which means I can be fully colourful and I can apply that same technique to my murals. Number two, take regular breaks. Rest. Now, it's difficult, you want to create something amazing, you've got a lot of things on your plate, and rest is actually more important than we think. Quite often, the times when we take breaks and we turn our brain off from what we're working on is when we come up with some of the best ideas. So surely it's important to take those breaks. And it can help you stop burnout, which I know as an artist in the modern world, with it going at the speed it is and producing content as well as creating, can seem a lot. So regular breaks. I know I'm not the best at this, but it makes such a difference. Number three, seek inspiration from different sources. So you're a visual artist, but there's so many other different ways that you can be inspired from different art forms. For example, you could go to a sculpture park, take a photography course, and think about how looking at the world through all these different perspectives can affect your practice. I know for me, I love to read and to travel, and so spending time reading helps me with my imagination and creating new things, and traveling helps me get more inspiration and ideas and stories and makes me feel fabulous. Number four, attend workshops or classes. As an artist, we are always learning and there's so many different things that you could learn. And I know if you're like me, you're very curious and want to know everything. But it's very important to attend different classes or workshops because it means you're adding some new skills and it'll add fresh ideas. It gives a challenge as an artist. These could be online courses or in person. What have I done recently in workshops and classes? I did an illustration course online, which was over 10 weeks, and met a whole new fabulous group of online artists in different places in the world and made me have new and different work in my portfolio around illustration. So it really does help if there's classes that you're interested in. Oh, I'm also doing some sculpture classes online, so there's loads of amazing ones online. If there's no art classes in your area, we have a wealth of resources online. For example, you've got Udemy, you've got Skillshare, you've got Coursera, all have online courses in so many different art forms, from illustration to sculpture to animation. I know there's an animation course that I definitely want to try on Skillshare. Schedule it in. You might feel that you've got a lot on, but it really will boost and give you different ideas. And of course, YouTube. YouTube is a great resource to find new skills and new classes. But the difference about doing particular courses, whether it's a short course or a weekly class you go to, is you're going to get that interactivity with other creatives that will give you fresh ideas, fresh perspectives, and make you look at things differently and maybe boost your confidence in an area that you're not as sure about. So I would definitely have a look at your local art classes, workshops. You know, sometimes universities or colleges, they run like one-off workshops that are for anyone. Some are free and some you have to pay for, but definitely get out there and learn some new skills. Even if it's a skill that you don't end up using, maybe the technique or something like that is going to help you for your practice, but it really will boost your creativity, add another skill, and get you to connect with creatives. Number 5 is to have a sketchbook going. Now, I am not the best at sketchbook, but why it's important is regular practice with drawing, observational skills. Maybe you carry around your book and you jot in ideas as they come along. I definitely know this has been a really good practice for me. It's not necessarily a sketchbook, but a notebook of ideas. So I will carry this around, and it has notes from meetings, which are boring, so maybe I need 2 different ones. But then it has little rough sketches, like even in the bottom corner, you might be able to see. And then I have sheets like this that have sketches of ideas of the things that are kind of in my head that I want to get out. So they're very rough sketches, but they definitely help me get to the next stage of the workflow. And observation is a big thing, depending on what style your art is. You know, thinking about, oh, if you see a leaf and you like the way that that sits or the way that it colours, I take photos, sketch, write notes, and I have it all somewhere. So whether you're someone that prefers it in a book, I know for me a sketchbook feels a little bit confined. I prefer to work on paper and then I can combine it together, but it is handy to have things in one place. So that's why the notebook and doing little rough sketches works for me. But I do keep meaning to do a sketchbook challenge. Maybe on my next travels I will carry a sketchbook and try and fill it, because the pages just always seem too small. And you can see some of the sketchbook work that I did observationally. I did a travel series when I was in Italy, and about observational drawing and kind of going outside, exploring and seeing what catches your eye and drawing it down in paper on your sketchbook. I'll leave the link for that above. Number 6 is step outside of your comfort zone. So there'll be lots of things that we feel comfortable with, whether that's drawing, painting, but there'll be something that you've maybe thought about, but it really pushes you outside of your comfort zone. And this challenge helps you push your creativity further. It can seem a lot when you don't know how it works. For example, I'm exploring sculpture at the moment with lots of different types of material, and so it's not just trying to think about how my work works in 3D, but also how the material works. And so it's really challenging me to think differently, and so then I will also apply that to when I'm drawing, and it'll make me think differently about that too. Challenge yourself to go after and try something creativity that's out of your comfort zone and see where it pushes your creativity. Number 7 is connect with your art community. I think quite often we can be in quite a lonely state when we are artists working for ourselves. Connecting with the local art community can make such a difference. It can boost your confidence, it can bring up new collaborations, it could be in person, meeting people at workshops, or whether you have a local art club, or if there's exhibitions to attend together. I know for me, like, it's really important to connect with other creatives. It doesn't have to be someone that's in the same field as you, but it really helps bring new ideas. Like just the other day, someone put something together for me that I'd not even thought about. Like, I'd been doing these mini animations, and I paint murals, and they were like, how about doing an animated mural? Now, I'd been thinking about an animated mural, but not in the same way that they had. And that seemed a much more feasible way for me to do it. I'm not going to spill beans yet because I haven't done it yet. It was literally just at the meeting the other day. It really makes a difference. Sharing what you're working on, sharing what issues you're having, or asking someone like, oh, I use this program, what do you use? And in person is always better, but online works too. So having those people that you can reach out to, I know for me, sometimes people can be really spread out that you connect with. So having a chance to like meet up, I know for me, meeting up at street art festivals with other street artists, it's awesome. It makes you excited. So it really helps to go along to those and join and be part of it and see an artistic creative community all come together. There's a real buzz. Things like you might not want to work with certain people, or they're not practicing the same sort of art that you are. You could attend exhibitions together. For example, I've organised for this month for a group of creatives with all different kinds of artists, textile, writers, painters, and we're all going to meet to see the Durham University art collection. And so I arranged that so that we could all get together, because I know we'd all be interested in seeing the contemporary collection, and we'll all kind of get an extra feedback from it, all talking about it together afterwards, rather than if I'd gone by myself. Number 8 is practice mindfulness and self-reflection. Now, sometimes in a busy time, this is the one that we neglect the most. But if we reflect on what's important to us, what gets us in the flow state, then we can produce better work and stuff that's meaningful to us. So we have to know ourselves what is meaningful to us. I know for me, when I first reflected on what Natural Leather Drawer is, everything that I wanted to create had to be to uplift, inspire, empower and celebrate. And if it doesn't come under those titles, then it's not something for me. So having that kind of mission statement helped me, but I had to work through a lot of things to think what's important to me and why am I doing what I'm doing. Also for me, a time of meditation, like sitting and meditating isn't for me, but meditating could be going out for a walk or a run or a swim, and that kind of helps you think deeper about what you're doing, about you, what's important, and gets you kind of to reevaluate what you're doing and to make sure that you're putting effort into the right things. Because there's so much out there and so many things we can explore, create, collaborate with, and we have to go after the ones that are important to us, and only we can know what our values are. So it's very important to take the time to get to know yourself and to be aware of why you create. Number 9 is embrace failure and learn from your mistakes. If you're an artist, you're gonna fail. But not fail as a full-time artist or fail because you're not producing the right amount. Like, the failure is that you're gonna try things that don't work out. And it can be hard. It could be something like reaching out to clients you want to work with and getting rejections. I've got a whole series on getting over failure. I'll put the link here. Being an artist is about trying different things, embracing your curiosity and seeing where it takes you. So you are going to fail, but you can learn from those mistakes. I tried this technique, it didn't work. What would work for me better? Or you could try a couple of techniques and you find out that neither of those work, but if you combine the skill from this and the skill from this together, they might work. So there's lots of different ways that you can learn from your mistakes, and it is very important just not to get hung up. I know it's easier said than done, not to hang up on all the things that are going wrong, and take it as a learning time and then apply what you've learned from all those failures. What's the most important is don't be afraid to make a mistake. Like when you have a blank piece of paper and you put the pressure on yourself that you have to, whatever you create on this piece of paper has to be good. You've set yourself up for failure there because you just need to create. You might get out the rubbish first, and then 3 pieces of paper down the line, you actually start creating something that has potential. So just don't be afraid to make mistakes, because it will put the pressure on you to set up for failure without having learned anything. Number 10, set goals and have a routine. If you've watched any of my series about my goals for 2023, each year I set a huge amount of goals for each year, and that's really important for me to know what I'm working towards and all the things that I could be working on. For example, I got so many goals because there might be one thing that I'm not feeling and working on at that moment, so I can shift to another one, but I'm always going to come back at some point. Defining your artistic goals can make such a difference, and yours will be so different to other people's. For example, your goal could be to get good at painting, or to learn realism, or to be more constrictive with your colour palette. Like, there's so many different goals you can create artistically. For example, mine at the moment is trying to experiment with sculpture and how my practice can go from 2D to 3D. And that might be my goal, but it might not be anyone else's. So it's really important to find out what your goal is, what it is that you want to go and learn, what you want to work towards and what drives you. And have that list of goals and keep them in mind, write them down, and you can follow my videos about my goals here. The other part of this one is to have a routine. Doesn't have to be a boring routine, it just has to be consistent. So it's not leaving everything to the last minute. You set your goals for the year and you're going, oh, try to do them in December. That's not going to work. Learning, creating, it's all about adding progress. So break it down, put it into steps. Today, what am I going to be working on? This week, what am I going to be working on? This month, what's the goal? And then you'll have step-by-step progress and you'll make progress towards your goals. But having that routine of, okay, this week I'm working on, today I'm working on, this morning I'm working on. When I get up in the morning, I get up, go for a run, have breakfast, then sit at my desk. Or if you know that sitting at your desk all day doesn't work for you, you need to have a plan for that and how you can move around. If you know the morning is the best time for you for emails, do all the emails then and get them out of the way so you don't have to think about them. And then do the fun stuff and the creating in the afternoon. I hope that these helped you boost your creativity and reach your full potential in your artistic path. Every journey is different for an artist, and you have to see what inspires you, what boosts your creativity, and let me know in the comments which ones work for you, which one you've tried, and which one really made a difference to your practice and to your creativity and seeing it explode to a whole new level. I'd love to know. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for weekly videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next creative adventure. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell.